Welcome back to Royal Alchemist, the extended demo. Last time we got into a staring duel with the Prince Aurelius, and now we're going to see how not sleeping has affected us, maybe, or not. By the time I reach my room, my eyes feel incredibly dry from me trying to keep them open. I pry my clothes off and change into a nightgown, finally collapsing onto my bed. Without missing a beat, darkness engulfs me. Lotus? The rich but calming aroma of lotus flowers pervades the room. I groan as I push myself upright, blinking through the cobweb of sleep. A slim hand places a steaming cup of tea onto the end table beside me. I take a sip, savoring the slightly bitter aftertaste. You're not even going to question who is in your room giving you tea. I know you're in a castle and there are maid servants and stuff like that, but still, I would hope you wake up and expect the person that is giving you tea in the morning. But sure, let's just drink any beverage that is handed to us. Thanks. I'm happy to be of service, Lady Rosenkreuz. I look up to see a demure-looking young woman standing next to the bed. She has a quiet, attractive face framed by long silver hair. Her ears are long and pointed like knives. I half-consciously touch my own ears and ask, I beg your pardon, but are you homunculus? I am. She dips into a graceful curtsy. Being magical creatures shaped from all 6 elements of magic, homunculi are very rare even within the High Council. My father, the Council's most skillful alchemist, had once tried to make a homunculus. He called him Tober Mori, sleek and grey, indistinguishable from a kitten apart from the fact that he speaks in human tongue. That alone had taken all his attention and energy for an entire year. To my sincere amazement, Sala is the first human-shaped homunculus I have ever seen, demurely shaped and with a soothing, gentle, magical aura around her. The sheer amount of craft and power needed to create must have been immense. I didn't know that Eskia, as an alchemist, adept enough to create homunculi. The young woman smiles, but does not reply. I decide to try another approach. So, what's your name? I am Sala, my lady. The region assigned me to be your personal servant. Yeah, well. Somehow, we already knew your name before you introduced yourself. I know. This is told someone in the future, kind of. So, the person telling the story knows the name, of course, but I tend to, how should I say that? I tend to not like revealing information before the person involved does not tell the main character. So before the protagonist knows the information, revealing through narration something we should know. Sure, if it's part of the story, because, I don't know, there are multiple protagonists and one of the protagonists does figure it out, we get some different points of views. Okay, I don't mind, but in this case we have only one protagonist, so far at least. And sure, it's just a name. But still, this is something I tend to not like. If you're going to talk about a character before you reveal their name, don't say the name, please. Thank you. The region assigned me to your personal servant, to be your personal servant. My lips quirk up into a smile. Back at home on our fief, my parents had hired many servants and guards, but they never allowed us, their children, to have someone appointed to be our personal attendant. They had hoped that, by doing so, we would be capable of taking care of ourselves, without any added assistance. As that may be, I'm essentially alone in a distant country for the first time, and the prospect of having someone familiar with this environment is more welcome than I am disposed to admit. Did the region assign me any other servants I should know about? Yes, there is. Just then comes a knock on the door. A debonair man pushes it open and swaggers into the room. You're cute. Lady Rosenkreuz, my deepest apologies. I was held up by a measly bit of business with the treasury. I know, it's probably quite hard to actually organize that in a game where you can choose your gender and pronoun. But normally, a male servant would, at least not in the morning, be allowed into a lady's room. Only her, maidservant, female, would be allowed to help her dress and stuff like that. So yeah. But alright. This is different, so I shouldn't mind. I told you, when I'm tired, I'm a bit more passive-aggressive than I normally am. Yeah. Yep, alright. And you are? Raphael, at your service, Lady Rosenkreuz. Sala and I will personally oversee that you are well taken care of. I can bathe and dress on my own. Sometimes I can even wake up on my own. I let out a grin along with my last chap. Raphael's gestures soften in response, and a smile tugs at the corner of his lips. That's not something that can be taken for granted in the aristocracy of the capital, indeed. However, our services extend to more than just domestic assistance. You're not just my servant, you are my bodyguards as well. We can both protect you in times of danger. There will also be 4 guards to watch your chambers at all hours. Sure, would have been nice to have had them a day ago. Not that they would have helped you that much, seeing that all the guards that came to escort you died in that attack. But yeah, sure. 4 more deaths on your plate. But apart from that, Sailor, how am I supposed to pronounce that name? Here is a petition in her own right. Okay, sure. Not that I need it. Impressive. Sala smiles. If you ever feel the need to pretty yourself up a little, you can always spend an afternoon with me. I'll keep that in mind, Sala, the petition. I am a courtier who has been in the service of the king for a long, long time. I know all there is to know about the etiquette and protocols of the Eskian court. Lucky for me, considering I don't know anything about that at all. I shall be delighted to teach them to you when you want a lesson on our court old customs and traditions, please come find me. So these are my tutors? Interesting. Raphael the courtier, I'll remember. And then there's Garion. Garion? Is he another servant? Good heavens, no. Please, don't let him hear that you say that. Marshal Garion commands the palace guards. I thought as much, and was a close confidant of the late king. He's probably my fighting tutor. He's the one in charge of training new recruits and can usually be found bustling about the parade grounds. Be that as it may, he also offers to train members of the royal household, and this now includes you. I give a casual flick of my wrist. I am more used to fighting with magic, or should I say alchemy items. Of course, the training grounds can offer you opportunities to train in magical combat, but if you ever find the need for enhancing your physical progress, he's the one you want to see. Seems like I'm going to have a very busy week ahead. To top it all off, please don't forget about your daily lessons with the princess. How could I forget? Have you already got a rough idea of this week's schedule? If you tell us, we can help you plan out your activities accordingly. Sure, let's see. For this week, I think... Alright, I see how this works. The region, Saul and Raphael. Right. You can access the game tutorials by pressing T. Won't do that, but thanks. If you're unsure about the stats raising aspect of this game, check them out. You know, I've played enough of these games. Now let's save ahead of time. And then let's go to classes. Choose an available lecture and assign it to a time block. Teach wind, teach light, teach darkness, wood, water, fire. Phew. So if I choose, I don't know, fire on the Nazir, Saren, and Aurelius, I can still choose etiquette. Is that etiquette? Yes, for myself? Oh, I can. Okay, in that case, interesting. Does that mean I take each one of them? Okay, we'll just go. Like this. Otherwise, I'll probably get lost at what I should give them. I don't know. Do I need beauty at the moment? I should strengthen my combat. And I don't know. Yeah, let's get our beauty up as well. I guess. So, can't choose them yet. Okay, that's probably strategies and as it looks, and that's something with a crowd, I don't know. Yeah. Fire, water, wood. Next time it's wind, sun, wind, light and darkness. And for me, I don't know. Etiquette. More etiquette and intelligence. But let's start this week. 65 coins. Okay. Knock knock. Come in. I glance up from my studies as the door swings open. Please pardon my intrusion. Prince Saren makes a half bow in my direction with his trademark cautious smile. Your Highness, pray sit down. Thank you. Prince Saren closes the door after him, and I catch a glimpse of several guards, not mine, but likely his personal troop. Since arriving, I have yet to see the prince without any companions. I suppose it's understandable, since the culprits behind his father's assassination were never found. Pulling out the chair from across from me, he takes a seat. This prompts me to look around, suddenly realizing I don't have anything to offer him. Prince Erin must have been following my eyes, because he takes initiative to stop me when I am about to call on Sala or someone with the means to fetch her for me. Please, no need to trouble yourself. I look at him as I proceed to settle down again. He smiles at me warmly, showing no indication that it was mere courtesy. I find myself unable to keep from smiling back. To what do I owe the pleasure, Your Highness? The Lord Regent would like me to ask you for more details about the mercenaries who ambushed you on your way to the capital. He was most disturbed by this most unnerving and unforeseeable breach of security so near the heart of the kingdom, and to a person as important as you, to us as you, of course. I am touched by his concern for my welfare. Would this be a convenient time for you, Lady Rosenkreuz? I do happen to have some free time just now, so please ask away. Thank you. To the best of my knowledge, who knew about the details of your journey to Fostrax? No one outside the palace. Yes, we are investigating the possibility of internal league. In that case, the Lord President of the High Council and the Senior Alchemist. You have told no one of your appointment? Not a soul. Do you think they could have... I don't even have to think before shaking my head. Impossible. They won't tell anyone about what they had for breakfast, much less the affairs of the delegates. The members of the council have always been overly secretive. That was one of the reasons why I had to bear with that rude palace guard in the first place. I see. In that case, what was the earliest forewarning you received of the ambush? My lips pursed and I closed my eyes, trying to recall more details of that night. On the road to Fostrax, I heard a loud explosion that came from somewhere within the forest. Then, the temperature around the carriage began growing warm. What do you think caused the explosion? Perhaps it was a way to remotely detonate the phlogiston mines beneath the road? Or maybe one of the caches was misplaced and exploded earlier than planned. However, due to the discoveries I've found later in the forest, I know the mercenaries had not finished their work when my carriage came to the ambush site. They did not expect me to show up so early, since I was supposed to spend the night in the village inn. They knew even about that. I not. It was a coincidence and maybe just the right amount of luck. It was the only reason I managed to escape alive. At least that explosion gave you enough time to get away, thanks to the captain of my escort. He recognized the situation for what it was immediately and warned me in the nick of time. If not for his prompt action, I would have... I close my eyes and swallow, even though my throat is perfectly dry. The hellish vision of the inferno, the broiling, horrifying waves of heat. Worst of all, those piteous, charred people lying twisted and broken about the devastated remains of the carriage. Afterwards, I took off into the forest when the mercenaries came to examine their handiwork, hoping to escape from vicinity. You were one, and they were many. No one can blame you for your wise action. Perhaps. Fortunately, I found a crate of unused phlogiston in the forest. I equipped myself with them before making my way back to the mercenaries fully armed. The mercenaries thought I was dead, they were taken completely by surprise when I came back with phlogiston, ready to throw into their midst. I reopened my eyes. My hands, I noticed, are balled into fists, and I forced myself to unclench them. We were not able to take any of them alive. That's what scared me the most, Your Highness. After I defeated the mercenaries, when I tried to question them, they brutally killed themselves right in front of me. I'll never forget those empty, doll-like eyes. For this reason, I suspect the person who employed them is somehow able to control their minds to an extent. That's disturbing, to say the least. I'm awfully sorry you had to go through that. Prince Seren's face turned a touch paler, filled with genuine concern and sorrow. After I finished recounting my experience with the ambush, he sounds as though he is trying to comfort me, yet he looks as though he needs some comforting himself. Thank you for telling me the tale of your harrowing encounter. You have my word that the utmost precaution will be taken to ensure that this does not happen in the future. Okay, save. Return. Reassure him that I can protect myself or downplay the violence. Good question. But in this case, I believe it's better to downplay the violence and spare him some of the gruesome details. Yeah. Aiming to reassure the prince, I muster a smile and look at him. For the first time, a series of raw and intense emotions resonate in his eyes. Please do not worry, Your Highness. The ambush probably sounds a lot worse than it actually was. As if seeing right through me, his brows incline and the creases of his smile droop slightly. I appreciate your concern on my behalf, but I assure you, I am fully aware of how dangerous the situation was and how violent it can unexpectedly become. My lips pursed. The prince must have suffered a great deal more, as I faintly recall, when his father was ambushed and died at the hands of mysterious assassins. I, at least, am still alive and free of any major injuries. I am unharmed. There is no need to be overly concerned about it. A single ambush, however limited in scope, carries significant implications for the safety of my subjects and security of the kingdom. The king-to-be should never be shielded from the reality of his kingdom, no matter how unpleasant that really can be. That is really true, Seren. I applaud you. Good job, Seren. You actually, I don't know, grasped your job quite well. Or have a grasp on your job description. I'm not sure what kind of expression I must be wearing. The prince looks at me for a moment before leaning forward and gently placing his hand on mine. Warmth spreads against my skin from the tips of his fingers, and I noticed just then that my hand must have been cold to the touch. I give you my solemn oath. As long as you're close to me, I shall see that you're kept out of harm's way. I observe Prince Seren very closely when he speaks. His troubled look, though diminished, does not disappear entirely. His eyes have a distant, faraway look that suggests he is thinking of something else, even as he is discussing the ambush with me. Did the recounting of my assault bring back any unpleasant memories? Before I can formulate my hypothesis into a suitable, polite inquiry, Prince Seren abruptly steps back steps back as if he somehow senses my intention to pry, where likely should not. I believe you have given me sufficient information to what I may make a report to the so that I may make a report to the Lord Regent. Thank you for your time, Lady Rosenkreutz. It was my pleasure, Your Highness. Good day. Prince Saren nods his head and goes to leave. He pauses when he reaches the door and turns back to face me. Your Highness, I would like to tell you I am very thankful you got away from the ambush unscathed. There is a soft undertone in his voice that makes me think he said those words out of more than mere etiquette. Thank you, Your Highness. Prince Saren nods again and silently closes the door behind him. Alright. Maybe the demo actually will end quicker than I thought, now that we are at the schedule part. But yeah, I hope you liked it. And we'll see what happens in week 2. Or week... Is that now? Whatever. What happens after we schedule our next classes? Who comes to visit us? And what might be revealed? Yeah. We still have to die. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.